Okay, good day, good people. Um, Let us look at various techniques that we will be using, right, to evaluate our limits. The first technique that we'll be using, it is your direct substitution. It is your direct substitution. All right, I did apply it as I was applying the properties of your limits. Then the second one that we'll be looking at, it is your simplification. Then the last one would be, or the least would be division. Division by highest highest power, right, of x. Those are the three techniques that we'll be looking at. Okay, those are the three techniques that we'll be looking at. Let's then do the application of the techniques that we'll be applying. Let's say we are given the limit, open bracket, 4x squared minus 3x plus 2 as x approaches 1. Now, the first method that we'll be looking at in solving this, or to evaluate the limits if they exist, it is the direct method. Now, the direct method, we mean that directly, so we will substitute x with 1, and it will be equals to 4. We are substituting x with 1. This is your direct method. Where there's x, we substitute it with what? With 1. Plus 2, then we get our answer as 3. This, we call it the direct method, or the direct substitution technique. Okay, now let's look at the second sum here and apply this direct substitution method. Let's say we are given limit as x approaches -3, then we are giving x minus 1 divided by 2x squared plus 5x minus 2. Now, if we're to do the direct substitution, it will be -3 minus 1 divided by 2, open bracket, -3 squared plus 5 multiplied by -3 minus 2. Then we will get -3 minus 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 9. Because we are having negative multiplied by negative, it will be positive. Then it will be 3 multiplied by or 3 squared, or 3 multiplied by 3 will give us 9, plus, still dealing with the denominator, it will be actually minus. It will be minus 15 minus 2. Right, then we get our final answer as -4, because at the denominator we will get 18 minus 15 minus 4, then we get our answer as -1. Then -4 divided by 1, we get our answer as 4. Right, now let's look at the second one. Let's look at the second one. If we are given the limit as x approaches 2 pi, then we are given sine squared divided by 1 minus cos x. Right. In solving this, firstly we know that sine squared x, it is one and the same as 1 minus cos squared x. It is your identities. It is taken from your identities, sine squared x plus cos squared x, when it equals to 1. Now, when we transpose cos to the other side, then we will be left with what? With sine squared x. It then means where there's sine squared x, will be substituting it with what? With 1 minus cos squared x. Limit as x approaches 2 pi, then we are having 1 minus cos squared x divided by 1 minus cos x. The whole idea is to have the same terms on the numerator and the denominator so that one can cancel another one. Now, on the numerator, we are having the difference of squares. Then it will be lim x approaches 2x. Then it will be 1 plus cos x open close bracket multi. We will then factorize because it is a difference of what? Of two squares. Then it will be 1 minus cos x divide by 1 minus cos x. 1 minus cos x and 1 minus cos x, they will cancel out. Thereafter, we can do direct substitution. Then it will be 1 plus cos 2 theta. We know that theta, it is 180 multiplied by 2, it will be 300, the double angles. It will be 360. Then we know that cos 360 equals to 1. That means here we are having 1 plus 1. Then our final answer, it is 2. Right. This is how we do the direct substitution. Okay. Your direct substitution. Now let us look at the second technique. The second technique would be simplification. Now, when coming to simplification, one of the things that you need to teach yourself is to solve your limits by inspection. Okay? Why by inspection? So that when you get this form here of your lim, if you get this form 0 divided by 0, we know that this is undefined. Okay? It is undefined. It means we then need to simplify our sum so that we can be able to apply the direct substitution later on. But we first have to do what? To simplify, because this, it is undefined. For instance, let's say we are given limit as x approaches 4, then we are having 4 minus x divided by x squared minus 16 close bracket. Now, looking at this sum without solving it, I can tell that I'm having 0 divided by 0. It means it is undefined. That's what I mean by you being able to solve something by inspection, by looking at it. Now let's put it in practice. We are having the direct substitution here. It will be 4. Oh, sorry about that. It will be 4 minus 4 divided by 4 squared minus 16. 4 squared, it is 16. That means here we are having 0 divided by 0. This is undefined. Before I can even do the direct translation, you can tell by inspection that this would be undefined. Now, if that's the case, we then have to simplify the function of x. We then have to simplify. If we are given lim x approaches 4, 4 minus x divided by x squared minus 16. Now, you now see the necessity of me reminding you of things that you are supposed to be knowing. That's what we are now applying. Now, you knowing how to work out the difference of two squares, factorization, taking out the common factor. We are now using those principles. It will be limit as x approaches 4. Then we are having 4 minus, then we need to write it in an orderly form, this one. Then it will be minus x open bracket. Then it will be minus 4. Okay, because negative multiply by x, it will give us negative x. Negative multiply by it will give us positive x. The thing is, we had to rearrange it and write it in an orderly form. Then here we are having the difference of two squares. That means it will be x plus 4, open bracket, close bracket. It will be x minus 4. Then x minus 4, they will cancel out. Then I'll be left with lim x approaches 4, it will be negative 1 divided by x plus 4. Now, where there's 4, we can now do direct substitution. Negative 4 divided by 4 plus 4, then our answer is 1 divided by 8. It is negative 1 divided by 8. Now, this is what we mean by the technique of simplification. You first have to solve by inspection. After solving by inspection, if it gives you that form 0 divided by 0, you know that it is undefined. Therefore, you need to simplify your function there. Let's look at the second example. Let's look at the second example. Right, let's look at the second example. Let's say we are given limit x approaches negative 2. It is x squared plus 8 divided by x squared plus x minus 2. Now, by inspection, you would see that it will give us, if we were to do the direct substitution, it will give us 0 divided by 0. Therefore, we need to simplify. In simplifying, it will be lim x approaches negative 2. We are having the difference of cube there on top on your numerator. Then it will be x plus 2. It will be x squared minus 2x plus 4 divide by, at the bottom we can then factorize and look for the factors. It will be x plus 2, then it will be x minus 1. Right, that's what we have. Now, x plus 2 and x plus 2, they will cancel out. Then you'll be left with limit as x approaches negative 2, open bracket. It is x squared minus 2x plus 4 divided by x minus 1. Then from here you can do direct substitution. There's no need for you to simplify this one further. From here you can do direct substitution. It will be negative 2 squared minus 2 times negative 2 plus 4 divided by negative 2 minus 1. Then negative 2 squared, it will give us 4. Negative multiplied by negative, it will be positive. 2 times 2, it is 4. It means on top we are having 4 plus 4 plus 4. It gives us 12 divided by negative 3. It means our answer here, it is negative 4. This is what I mean by the technique. That's what I mean by the technique of simplification. That's what I mean there. The technique of what? Of simplification. Right. Now, having said that, let us then look at the last one here. The division part of it. Let us look at the division part of it. Let us look at the third technique that we are supposed to be knowing. The third technique, it is the division by the highest power of x. Okay, by the highest power of x. Now, we know what is the limit of this form. Limit infinity over infinity. It is undefined as well. Now, like I said on the previous one, you need to solve your limit by inspection. For instance, if you are given limit x approaches infinity, then you are having 5x squared plus 3 divided by 3 plus 4x squared, close bracket. If I were to do the direct substitution here, you will realize that I will have infinity over infinity, and it will be what? Undefined. Now, it means I can then apply the principles of the division by the highest power of x. What do I mean by that? What would be the highest power here on this given? The highest power here, it will be x squared. It means I will be dividing every term here with the x squared. I will have limit as x approaches infinity, open bracket. I'm having 5x squared. I will then divide it by x squared plus 3 divided by x squared divide by 3 divided by x squared plus 4 x squared divided by x squared, close bracket. Then this is what we will have. The x squared and the x squared will cancel out. I'll be left with 5 plus 5 plus, is it 3 or 2 there on top? It doesn't matter whether it is 3 or 2. It will be 3 divided by x squared all over 3 divided by x squared. Then the x squared and the x squared will cancel out. Then I will have what? 4 there. Right. I will have 4 there. Then I know that any constant number divided by infinity, if I were to do the direct substitution there, it is what? 0. That means here I'm having 5 plus 0 divided by 0 plus 4, because any sorry about it, constant number divided by infinity equals to 0. These are the things that we dealt with on the first video. It means here my answer would be 5 divided by what? By 4. I have now applied the third technique in solving whatever that they want us to solve. Let us do the last application. Let us do the last application. Okay, we are given limit as x approaches infinity, x cubed minus x plus 1 divided by x squared plus 3. If I were to do the direct substitution, you'd realize that our answer would be what? Would be undefined. Therefore, we will then apply that method of dividing every term with the highest exponential of x there. It means I'm having limit. As soon as you do the substitution, then you will drop the limit there. Okay, you will drop that term. It will be x cubed divided by x cubed, that is the highest, minus x divided by x cubed plus 1 divided by x cubed, all over x squared divided by x cubed plus 3 divided by x cubed, close bracket. Now, the x and the x cubed will cancel out. I'll be left with 1 minus the x. It will be cancelled out. It will be 1 over x squared plus 1 over x cubed all over the x squared. It will cancel from the x cubed. Then I'll be left with 1 over x plus 3 over x cubed. That's what I'll be left with. Now, if I were to do the direct substitution, then you will have, because we know that 1 divided by x, 1 divided by this equals to 0, by infinity equals to 0. That means here I'm having 1 minus 0 plus 0 divided by 0 plus 0. It means here there are no limits. The answer, no limits. That would be your final answer there. No limits. This is how we apply. This is how we apply those. This is how we apply the division method. This is how we apply the division method. Now let's look at the last part. Let's look at one example on the division method. Then we can do the activity. Then we can look at into our textbooks and do few activities in our textbooks. Right. Okay. Let's say we are given the last example, limit as x approaches the infinity. We are given 6x squared minus 4x plus 2 divided by 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. Right. Now it will be limit as x approaches infinity, open bracket. The highest exponent there, it is x squared. That means it will be 6x squared divided by x squared minus 4x divided by x squared plus 2 divided by x squared all over 3x squared divided by x squared plus 5x divided by x squared minus 8 divided by x squared. Right. The x squared and the x squared will cancel out. X squared will cancel out. X, it will be cancelled from the x squared. Then we'll be left with 4 divided by x. Then this side it will be 2 divided by x squared. Then x will be cancelled from that. It means here we are left with 6 minus 0 plus 0 divided by 3 plus 0 minus 0. That means our answer here it is 2 because 6 divided by 3 equals to 2. Now this is how we apply those techniques. This is how we apply those techniques. I will then look at activity 5.1 and I will do the activity 5.1, maybe all of it as your corrections. Then you will then compare my video with that which you would have written in your books. Oh, sorry, regarding activity 5.1 in our books. Thank you, good people.